I'm Casey Droege, and I'm an artist, and I call myself a cultural producer because I do a lot of work that kind of fits between curating and just creating platforms for other artists. I am originally from Pittsburgh, and I usually tell people that I was raised by a painter, a photographer, and a mime, because I think it's really crucial to talking about why I do what I do. Growing up with self-employed artists as parents made me very aware of sort of the resources that existed, particularly here in Pittsburgh, but for artists in general, and the obstacles of that life. And I drank the Kool-Aid really early. So I was just in it from the beginning, totally brainwashed. It took a couple of years to get anybody to actually believe me that, this was really something they should invest in. And when we finally got the Pittsburgh Foundation to give us to give me a launch grant, basically, enough to sort of get the business going, get it off the ground. So the business is Casey Droege Cultural Productions, and it operates with a couple of different arms. The business has a programming arm, which would be 6x8, CSA, Pittsburgh Photo Fair, and then we have this sort of presenting arm where we have a store called Small Mall. And then we also do consulting, mostly for bigger clients, where we're trying to get a developer or an individual who's maybe redoing an office to buy a bunch of local artwork or hire artists for that process in some way. I had been, while I was teaching, I had been running programs like 6x8 and our CSA PGH program. And I had a pretty good track record of engaging other artists and also getting the public involved and starting to use that to actually drive a revenue stream. So I was asking for support from foundations and trying to figure out a way to make that become a real business. I originally thought of the business as operating similarly to a lot of nonprofits, in that the business would use grant money to run programming that would support artists. From the beginning, I think this is something I always think about. I need to get other people to invest in it. And usually it's just asking the public to buy a ticket, to buy a small piece of art, or somehow contribute with an in-kind donation. And that mentality comes from the fact that I can't underwrite everything myself, right? I just don't have the resources to actually make a bunch of art for free or, deliver a bunch of services to people out of the kindness of my heart. I just can't do it. So the business itself is only 2 years old, but we're now entering the 3rd year, and it's in theory functional and it's an ongoing experiment. And hoping that we can start to survive on our own revenue streams solely by year 4. Somehow we have to figure out the resources to make something happen. And ideally it's gonna be because people believe in what we're doing and want to participate and want to invest their own time or resources into it.